In this video, we're going to be looking at books that you can use to learn Indonesian grammar. So I've got 3 books in mind. One of them I really like. I think basically anyone studying Indonesian should have. The other 2 kind of optional extras, not quite in the same category. First one I want to look at is Basic Indonesian. Next one we have Indonesian Grammar Introduction, and then Indonesian Grammar Reference. So if we just get straight to the point, this is the one that I think is the most useful for anyone studying Indonesian Grammar Reference. Okay, so we're going to have a look at a couple of reasons why. Let's just look at the ones that are not as good. So Basic Indonesian. Now this one's not, to be fair, it's not exactly a grammar book. It's a course book, and it's got a basic course book structure. It goes through different topics. It is kind of a bit basic. It does start with get to know you, and then it goes through very familiar topics like family, sport, at the mall, work, that kind of thing. It builds up things like directions, builds up to things as complex as international relations, but it does so in a kind of a low level way. And this one here is really for beginners. If you're learning, if you're just starting out, this is great. The audio, it comes with the audio, which is also good. Now that, for me, it was a little bit of a negative in that the audio is extremely slow. Okay, the speaking is slow, so it's really not very natural. The other one that we're looking at is the Student's Guide to Indonesian Grammar. This is a dedicated grammar book, and it does go through a lot of different grammatical topics. It starts out with simple things, asking questions, giving answers, that kind of thing. And then it goes really hard into the grammar. Noun plus possessor, noun plus adjective, so sentence formation. It's got a section on prepositions. It's got a section on the use of ada, there is, there are, that kind of thing. It goes into transitive, intransitive verbs, the ber prefix, the men prefix, men kan. It goes through all of these prefixes and suffixes, so it is quite comprehensive. This book is quite useful, and it's useful as a one where you can go to and reference if you need to. But as a book to work through, it is a little bit dry, uninspiring, and the exercises, you kind of have to really, you feel like you're really working when you're going through this. So unless it's part of your course, a required text, I found that this one is hard to use. If you want a really comprehensive and interesting Indonesian grammar reference book, Indonesian Reference Grammar 2nd edition is the one that I like. Now, it has whatever you need. It explains it in detail. It's got a really nice index, so you can find whatever point you're looking for, and the explanations of the grammar are useful and to the point. Okay, and so they don't go on too much, but they have what you need. The way the topics are grouped is also very useful. It starts out with word construction, affixes, prefixes and suffixes. It then builds on to more complex grammar that surrounds nouns and noun phrases. It goes on to clauses and other phrases, until at the end of the book where it gets towards a sentence level or complex grammar. So in a very quick summary, for grammar reference, for learning grammar points, for looking at good explanations, Indonesian Reference Grammar is probably the one to get, the essential one, and then that can be used with whatever other course material books that you have. Thanks for listening.